Hi, I'm Scott Lane. Today we're taking a look at Citrix Personal VDisk. This new technology is a feature of XenDesktop, and it allows users to personalize their virtual desktops, allowing them to do things like install their own apps and configure their own computing environment. But at the same time, IT administrators can manage literally thousands of these desktops, all from one single disk image that they patch, manage, and maintain. Let's take a deeper look at how this new Citrix technology works. First, let me jump into my virtual desktop. You'll notice that I have Windows 7 delivered to me here on my MacBook Air. That's using Citrix XenDesktop. Now, my Windows 7 environment is pretty much set up the way I want it, except for one thing. I don't have a piece of software, a utility that I need on my desktop for day-to-day activities. That utility is the Citrix ShareFile Desktop Sync. I use it to easily store and access my files in the cloud across my devices. So as you can see, I'm installing it. Now obviously, I have to have the rights in Windows in order to run this installer. Personal VDisk machines are typically used for power users in your environment, and usually they'll have the rights to do things like install software, as I am right here. Okay, now that I have the Citrix ShareFile Sync utility working, let's take a brief look at the desktop itself. I'm going to drill down in Windows Explorer now, go into my C drive and dig in, and you see a file here. It was put into place by the IT administrator to show when this desktop image was created. And you can see that my base desktop was last updated by IT on February the 1st. But today, it's February the 14th. Also, while I'm here, I'm going to check out my desktop hostname. Running a hostname command, I can see that this desktop is named WinPVD002. Now, we'll use this a bit later when we dig in to see how my desktop is made up. So how does the Citrix Personal VDisk technology work with just one base image? Let's take a look. As you can see here, I have my virtual machine that makes up my desktop running on Citrix Xen Server. Now, of course, we should pause to mention that Citrix Personal VDisk will also work on VMware vSphere. Now, drilling down into this virtual machine, you can see that there are 3 disks. My particular desktop is created using XenDesktop's machine creation services, but the administrator could have also used Citrix Provisioning Server. Since we used machine creation services, the first disk you see is a differential disk. That's where delta changes are written while the VM is running. However, this disk is volatile, as in a stateless pooled desktop. The second disk here is just for machine identity and Active Directory. But now this third disk is where all of my personalization goes. It is attached to the VM that is assigned to me and makes up my virtual desktop. And inside here is where my file level and registry changes that I make as a user are retained. This disk interacts with the Citrix Personal VDisk agent that's installed on the base desktop image. That agent tracks what the base desktop has in the form of software and files versus what I have installed or changed as a user. Now, the size of this Personal VDisk is configured by administrators, and it can be expanded if needed. So what happens when there's time for an update? Well, let's go into the XenDesktop Studio and see. Now, inside of here, we can drill in and see the machines that make up my Personal VDisk environment. And you'll notice as I drill down here that I can actually see the hypervisor, and I continue to drill down, I see the base desktop and several snapshots based upon that initial desktop image. And going down further, you'll see that I have a new snapshot revealing that updates were done to this base VM on February the 5th. So let's roll this update out to our users. Now, since we're in our lab or in my lab, we can do this immediately by just choosing the Restart Immediately option. That will prompt my desktop session to log off as the VM is restarted and the new snapshot with the changes by IT are merged in. Now let's fast forward just a couple of minutes. The changes have been applied to the pool of personalized desktops, and I want to log back into my Windows 7 virtual desktop. Now right away, I'll go into Windows Explorer once it gets running here, go into Windows Explorer and take a look. Sure enough, drilling down into that version file, we can see the timestamp of the update. It has changed to February the 6th. So what about that Citrix ShareFile Desktop Sync utility that I installed? Is it here? Will it work? Did it stay despite the update? Well, sure enough, it's there and is residing in my personal VDisk, so it's there, shows up, and it runs just as if it were installed in the base image to begin with. So there you have it. Citrix Personal VDisk is a game changer for virtual desktops. It allows IT administrators to roll out literally thousands of virtual desktops, which allow users to make changes to their computing environment. But yet at the same time, administrators can still manage updates and maintain storage efficiency by working from a single disk image. Thank you for your time.